Hey guys, Patrick here, and today I want to talk about 3 steps, critical steps, that you should consider before dropping out. Alright, so first I'd love to give a little context as to my situation. So a little over 2 years ago, I dropped out of the University of Washington in Seattle and came down to San Francisco to work for a tech startup with a 6-figure offer to be a software engineer. And that's what I've been doing since. But before I made that decision, I spent a lot of time talking to advisors and mentors and really analyzing whether or not this would be a good decision. So hopefully my learnings from my experience can help you to inform whether or not you should drop out of school. Alright, so the first important piece, and I know this sounds cliche, but is looking at your goals and your passions. It is critically important to really take into account what you're passionate about, what experiences in the past you've had that you really enjoy, and to try to look into the future and see what career path you're going to take. If you already know this, then fantastic, but if not, I highly recommend taking a weekend to really decipher what you want and what your passions are. And with this information, looking at your future career path and then deciding, does dropping out affect my ability to get a job in whatever space I enjoy? So for example, if you wanted to be an attorney or doctor, obviously dropping out is not a good idea given that you need so much schooling. But if you're looking at something that has a hard skill, such as being an engineer or a graphic designer or photographer, those things you can learn on your own and you can prove to employers that you have those skills. And that brings me to point number 2, which is it's critical, honestly, whether you have a degree or not, to build up hard skills and to have experiences to point to. This matters a lot whether you're seeking to be an employee and go through the job interview process or want to build your own business. Having hard skills such as graphic design, programming, web engineering, anything along those lines that is a skill that you can teach yourself and make products with is critically important to stand out from the crowd and to have experiences that back up the fact that you have those skills and stories to speak to about different projects you've worked on that allow you to stand out from the crowd but also have proof of the skills that you have. Now, one big pattern you might have seen recently is the fact that college grads are having a really tough time finding jobs. One of the reasons behind that is employers do care about that hard skill set and your ability to execute on day one. So I highly recommend looking at a course platform like Coursera or Udemy or Udacity and looking at what skills are portrayed there. A lot of times those are the in-demand skill sets that are really interesting to employers and something that has a lot of monetary value. If you seek after one of those skills and work on a few side projects, that will set you in an excellent position when it comes to looking for a job. One other thing to keep in mind is by dropping out, you essentially increase your risk profile to the employer. And what I mean by that is they're taking a little bit more of a risk on you given that you haven't proved yourself by earning a degree and you haven't gone through at least some sort of accreditation to set you at a baseline. But a great way to combat that and to make that not much of an issue is to have prior experience using valuable skill sets that you can point to in an interview process. That's one thing that I personally have found very, very valuable. Alright, and then number 3. Now this is a big one, I know it's talked about a lot, but that is your network. So I have many experiences that have shown me just how powerful that network is. Namely, 3 internships as a software engineer that I had during college. All 3 of them I would not have had if it wasn't for an introduction from my network and a strong recommendation. Most of the world, in fact, I hear roughly 80% of all jobs are gained through people's networks. And it's just, unfortunately or fortunately, the way the world works. But what's critical to do is to really start to be strategic about what your current network looks like and how you're going to build one in order to get a job or to build your business or to have plenty of consulting work coming in. So tangibly, what does this look like? I highly recommend, one of the greatest things about college is the fact that you're around so many smart, interesting people that are pursuing new careers. So first off, taking advantage of the people around you is a really critical way to go. Second, talking to faculty, talking to advisors, talking to anybody that has connections to the university and potentially to employers as well. They're usually a great resource and they're more than happy to talk to you. And then third is to go to any events where a lot of people in the industry that you want to go towards, such as, let's say, being a graphic designer, where those people congregate. One of the beautiful things about being a student is you have this free pass to meet with almost anybody and to say, hey, I'm a student, I'm looking to learn more about graphic design, for example. I would love to talk to you for 30 minutes. That's a great way to start to build a network and to also learn more about these different disciplines. So I highly recommend building up that network and having that to lean on when it comes to getting a job or when it comes to even just figuring out what you want to do. But that's an incredibly powerful asset that if you are diligent about and build up over time will allow you to have no problem with the job search and have way more opportunity than people that just have a degree but a small network. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching. A big part of what I'm trying to do here is to help people that were in my shoes 2 years ago and to really just kind of give you some insight and some guidance going through the dropout process. If you have any specific questions or any feedback on this video or anything you'd like me to talk about next, please leave that in the description or the comments below and I'd be happy to talk about it in a future video. So with that, thanks for watching.